What's up, YouTube? It's Jordan here with J-Dubs Aquatics, bringing you guys a long overdue update. A lot of you know I've been very busy with the birth of my son. Been very blessed with a healthy boy, and he's doing really good so far. I'm still getting used to the daddy life a bit, but I'm definitely loving it. This is his room with the 10-gallon frag tank now. I sold the 75-gallon. This is where the 75-gallon was over here. So we've got a little TV, a little bouncer, and we're going to put a little toy shelf over there for him and whatnot. Of course, we got the fishy mobile here. And one of my mom's friends from work made us this really awesome picture that we got to hang up here. So it's really cool. But anyway, I made some tough decisions, and I shut down a few tanks. I decided to sell my Malawi fish, and the Frontosa are now in that tank. Shut down the fry tanks. The only fry tank I still have left running is the 55, and once I get rid of the rest of those fry, I'm going to take that one down temporarily too. And basically, I'll be down to 3 tanks. This one, the 37-gallon reef tank, and the Frontosa. But I'd rather have 3 really nice tanks than 7 I can't keep up on, so... Anyway, I want to do a breakdown on this tank from a buddy Mike from Mass. You know, he's got saltwater on the mind, so I wanted to show you how simple saltwater setup can be, even with soft coral. I don't really have anything too delicate in here. There are a couple SPS frags that I just added the other day that I got for next to nothing in store credit. So this tank is a bit young for SPS, but they didn't look too good in his tank, and I had, you know, a little bit of store credit to burn, so I figured I'd see if I could give him a dip and nurse him back to health. But not quite opening up yet. I'm not even sure what they are exactly. These ones I've had for a while. I was told those are banana tort, and then the other 2 are SPS there, and I'm not sure what they are. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Filtration on this tank, we have basically, you know, you've got the basic stuff. You got biological filtration, mechanical filtration, and chemical filtration. And one thing that's a little bit different from fresh to saltwater, you've got protein skimmer. A lot of people say you can go without it in a simple setup with just a couple fish or whatever. But for $40, it's going to save you a lot of headaches. It removes a lot of waste before it gets a chance to break down into phosphate and nitrate and feed that nuisance algae. So for $40, bulk reef supply. It's a reef octopus skimmer. It took about a month to break in, and you do have to keep the water level very constant or it doesn't skim very well. But if you keep the water level constant and keep it clean, it does a great job. Other than that, I've got for biological filtration, live rock rubble, and that's just the surface for the bacteria to colonize and keep your tank cycled. My filter here just has a little sponge that I clean that about once a week, sometimes a little more often. I've got some granular ferric oxide, GFO, removes phosphate, in a mesh bag. I've got some Seachem Purigen in a mesh bag and a little bit of carbon in a mesh bag. And the GFO lasts about 2 months for me usually. The Purigen I haven't changed yet, and the what's it called? The carbon change about every 3 weeks. For flow, I have this Hydor Smart Wave unit, and it's got a couple different controls. One is for the time. Can go from 5 seconds to 6 hours. And then over here we have feed mode, which just turns them off. And then we have single mode, which runs 1 pump at a time. I have them going from 10 seconds till they alternate. Yep, so now this one kicked on, and in 10 seconds it'll go back to the other one. And then I have a third pump in here, which is another Nano 425. These all do 425 gallons per hour. So with one running constantly and 2 alternating, you know, I'm getting 850 per hour, which is a lot of flow for a little tank. But You don't necessarily need quite that much, but I wanted one down here just to put constant flow over my live rock rubble and keep the detritus from settling. It's been working pretty well for me so far. There are cheaper options. You can get some other wave makers off eBay, but I recommend getting something that has different wave patterns and not just a constant flow power head. A lot of times you'll get dead spots and have cyanobacteria buildups and things like that. And I did when I started. I had just a power head in here. Had a cyano breakout. I'm not sure if that's exactly why. I did have a little bit of phosphate and nitrate, but got that stuff under control, and the frag tank is doing great now. I also did add some chaetomorpha algae down here in this little plastic case. You don't have to do that, but it helps eat some of that phosphate and nitrate, and you can just pull out a few chunks of that as it grows and throw it away. But yeah, that's basically the filtration, and I do have a little heater, of course, tucked down there behind my live rock rubble, so you can't really see it, but I can get down and adjust it if I need to. You can do sand in your tank or whatever. I just did the live rock rubble because it's easier to keep clean in this case. And it's not really a show tank or anything, it's just for growing coral frags. So these are all soft corals. All the ones that I have been doing really well in here. Just upgraded my light. This is the Chinese LED off eBay. It was $100, and it runs two different channels, so you can run the blues and whites separately, and they are dimmable, which is a nice feature. My corals have seemed to adjusted to it fine. But I have 3 fish in here. I wouldn't probably go any more than 3 small fish in a 10-gallon. Otherwise you'll start having some nutrient problems. And soft corals like this are really easy to care for. And Mike, if you want some, hit me up in the summer and I'll ship you some of these in the summer when it's not so cold out, and get you started on some easy coral. And you'll see how fun it is growing coral for yourself. But I think that about covers the filtration. For maintenance, I do a 20-gallon water change. I'm sorry, not 20, a 2-gallon water change every week, and I have these little 2-gallon buckets which mix up. It's easy to mix up 2 gallons real quick and heat it up to temp and do a quick water change. With the filtration I have, as you can see, it's crystal clear in here. Never had a water clarity issue in this tank. When I got my phosphate and nitrates down and I kept them down, I haven't had to scrub my glass but once every 3 weeks to 3.5 weeks, sometimes a month, before I start really seeing any sort of film algae growing on the glass or anything like that at all. The frags and the egg crate is all staying clean now. Doesn't have any more of that crappy, nasty looking algae growing on it. And that's really about it. I do siphon when I do my water changes, stir around in the live rock rubble and get as much detritus out as I can. Like I said, take a little bit of that chaeto algae out and throw that away, let it regrow in. But I don't know, if you have any other questions on saltwater in general, or anything about your setup, just send me a message and I'll be happy to help you out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and happy fish keeping.